Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, and the elderly, this is the U-Tournies! Hello Pokemon fans, this is ProPokeNoob, back today, here to bring you a brand new series on my channel called the U-Tournies. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be bringing you tournament uploads that I have from YouTube tournaments from either subscribers or just brand new uploaders. It doesn't matter how popular they are, I will be bringing you battles if I'm in that tournament. Now I promise you that if the battle is horrible or if the battle is a complete clean sweep, I will show it to you. You have my ProPokeNoob word of honor there. So, you will see some very interesting things. Tournament battles usually bring out the best and the worst, and also bring out different movesets that you usually don't see in standard play, just because usually the tournaments are asking for a little bit different requirements. But today, I've decided that I'm going to begin this series with HerpyDerqy's Monotype tournament. He had this a couple of months ago, I believe, and if you guys do not remember, I ran a mono-electric team. So, let's get to the team preview. My first opponent in the round 1 was actually Pokemon Bro EP10, and this was when I discovered that he was an uploader, and a very good uploader at that. He's extremely knowledgeable, and he decided to run a mono fighting team in this tournament. Now, the reason why I chose mono electric is because I wanted a little bit of a challenge. To me, something like poke fighting, wow, like mono fighting is a little bit of a handicap. I don't know, I just find it's too good. Like, look at the typing that you see in his team. That's pretty good, and there's also a lot more diverse than what he's showing. So, I don't know, that's just my opinion. I don't want to use mono fighting. It just seemed too easy. So, mono electric, what I have here is a Scarf Rotom Cut, a Life Orb Zapdos, a bulky, I think it's a physically bulky offense. It's a physical Electros of some kind. I think it has physical bulk in it. Specs Raikou, Lantern is just the Heal Beller. This is actually a standard Lantern, and Subcharge Beam Magnezone. Now, the rules in this tournament were no more than 2 OUs, 2 UUs, and you can just use a combination of RUs and NUs, I believe. Now, to be quite honest, in this tournament I actually had a few problems with teams. Being one in here, if you guys look at his team, he has 3 OUs and 1 UU. Now, I believe the rule was you could substitute an OU for a UU, but I don't think you could substitute a UU for an OU because, I mean, oh sorry, you can't substitute. So you basically can't put 3 OUs and 1 UU. I think what you could do though is 1 OU and 3 UUs, which I didn't choose to do because it didn't work on my team. I just have 2 UUs and 1 OU. But I didn't make any mention, but I started watching teams soon after, and this will play a very key factor in a future upload for the U-Tournies. So, in the ways of leads, I don't really know what he wants to lead off with, so I'm figuring leading off with Rotom Cut will be the safest thing. It is Scarfed, it has Trick. I don't want to give away the Scarf too quickly yet. I don't know what any of these Pokemon are running. I'm just assuming at this point that Terrakion is choiced in some way, and that Hariyama might be that fake-out Toxic Orb thing. So that's all I'm going to assume. I don't know the rest of his team. I'm not going to try and guess them. But I'm going to lead off with Rotom Cup. My goodness, Rotom Cut, and now I will see you at the battle. So I think my mouth has finally fallen down the stairs to the bottom, so it shouldn't be tripping up anymore. And I've also adjusted my audio settings, so I'm just going to see after this if this is a better setting, because I keep seeing that I'm spiking in red. But that's not the point right now. The point is we have a monotype tournament to begin. Let's go, round 1. Will ProPokeNoob pull it off with a mono-electric team? Let's see. I'm going to start off with my Rotom Cut. He actually decides to lead off with Virizion. Now I have the HP Ice, so I'm just going to start nailing this thing with moves, as he actually goes for the Toxic, showing me that he might be more of a bulkier set. However, I don't really know what Virizion runs because I don't see it often, but he's just checking to see what item I have, which is a very good move on his part, and now he's just going to go for the Sacred Sword and do a lot of damage. Now, I don't want to lose my Rotom Cut this early since it is my Scarfer, so I'm going to switch out and go into my Zapdos, but he actually makes a good play and does his own switch into his Hariyama to resist the HP Ice, which tells me he might have the thick fat, but he's just going to go for the Fake Out, and as you can see, he doesn't have the Toxic Orb, so he most likely does. The only difference is, though, I don't have a normal Zapdos with Heat Wave, Thunderbolt, and HP Ice. I have Heat Wave, Thunderbolt, and HP Flying, and that's on purpose. I'm going to switch it to Electros as he actually goes into his Terrakion. This is my most physical thing that can take a hit. He's going to switch out now, go back into his Virizion as I just go for the Thunder Wave. I'm guessing he was fearing some form of status, but it's a good move on his part again. I'm just going to switch out now, though, go into my Specs Raikou, and I make a huge mistake here. He gets Para Hacks, and I should take an opportunity to abuse this, right? I forget this thing is not part rock, and I go for Aura Sphere. Yeah. So, it is fighting grass, and he goes for the Sacred Sword. It hurts me a lot. So, this is kind of a mistake, because now I'm locked into it since I'm Specs. So, he's going to switch out into his Gallade as I just fire up another one, try and do more damage. And now, this is even more worse, because Gallade, anything specially defensive on a team is going to cause my Mono Electro team problems at this point. So, I send in Electros, hoping to take a hit, but as you can see, this close combat Life Orb does that much damage. How much would have Terrakion done with a close combat? Probably would have one-shotted me or something, or brought me really low. So Electros really wasn't going to take a hit either way. So Electros is going to fall, but I'm going to send in my Zapdos now, threaten him out with the HP Flying. He's going to switch out, go into his Virizion to be Death Fodder, as another HP Flying will take another victim. Now, HP Flying is on here to be both a stab move, and it did take out stuff like grass, fighting, stuff like that, and in Monotype, you want that different type of coverage. But he sends in Terrakion. I know he's not going to mess around. He's going to go for the Stone Edge. I go into Lantern. He gets a crit, though, and I'm going to save this thing for later. I'm going to go in my Magnezone, take this opportunity to set up a Substitute, because I know that will not be doing any damage. And based on the amount of damage he did there, I'm guessing he's Scarfed. So he's going to switch out, go into his Machamp as I just set up a Substitute. I'm not even going to try and start setting up Charge Beams. This thing is going to break my sub no matter what. So I'm just going to fire off a Flash Cannon, get a decent amount of damage off on this Machamp. He's going to go for the Dynamic Punch. And now, looking in the ways of items, I don't see his item. So now I have to switch out and go into my Zapdos. Now I should mention in this point, speaking of items, that I had a glitch in this game too. This is pretty self-explanatory. What ended up happening was I actually was missing 2 of my items, and it just happened to be on my 2 walls, Lantern and Electros. They were both missing their item. So, yeah, Electros was, yeah, I missed his item. So, I'm playing against a guy who has 3 OUs, and I'm missing 2 items. So, I think I'm doing pretty good for that amount of, you know, hacks indirectly. But anyways, he's going to switch to his Gallade, as you all saw. I'm just going to go for a Substitute, predicting the switch out, since he locked himself into Stone Edge. And now what I'm going to do is, once again, I believe, fire off a Flash Cannon as he tries to set up a Swords Dance. However, that's not the best timing because, as you can see, that does a lot of damage. And since he has Life Orb, he's really not in a position to set up on me, especially when I have a sub and I can hit him for a very large amount of damage. So I'm going to go for a second Flash Cannon, take him out, which the defense drop didn't even matter. The Spidef drop, I should say. But now he's going to switch into his Terrakion, and this thing is just ruining my day. I have to keep foddering stuff off just to get my Zapdos back in. He actually goes for close combat this time, not trying to overpredict with this thing. So this means that I can switch into my Zapdos to threaten him out, and I'm hoping it won't do a lot of damage. I think he goes for the attack here. Yes, he does. And as you can see, he does not take me out because Zapdos is a beast. So I'm just actually going to go for the Roost, just to be safe. He's not locked into Earthquake, and I'm going to move slower than him, so definitely he's Scarfed. But now he's going to switch into his Lucario as I go for a second Roost. Now, I don't know what this Lucario wants to do, but I do have that Hurt Toxic Rotom in the back, so I'm going to send that out to be Death Fodder. He actually goes for Psychic, and I don't see Life Orb, I don't see anything, so I'm just going to send in Zapdos, which does have a decent special defense, and I'm going to see how much it does. Based on that damage, I'm thinking it might be Specs or Expert Belt. I'm not sure, but my Heat Wave luckily hits. That's going to take out Lucario. And now his last Pokemon is the Terrakion. Now, we got to take a little bit of a pause here. Looking at the amount of HP that I have, he has a very large chance, or he has like a half and half chance of taking me out if he does not get min damage. This is what he told me, and this is what I was assuming because I looked at the amount of damage that he usually did. So I'm going to switch out, go into my Raikou to be Death Fodder first of all, as he does actually decide to lock himself into close combat, which is his safest move, because he knows Zapdos can take me out. Or not take me out, he can take out my Zapdos with maximum damage. So here we go, he's going to go for the close combat. I'm hoping he doesn't get max damage, and what do you know, he pulls min damage. Now, he thought he had this in the bag. I'm just going to go for the Roost. Kind of risky, but at the same time, I looked at, you know, -2 defense might not be able to take him out, and if it isn't, then, you know, I'm pretty much dead, because all I've left is Magnezone. So, I just go for a second Roost now. Luckily, he's not getting crits either. He basically was still in this game, if you got a crit. But now he's going to start struggling. He told me, finish me off already. I'm like, well, I didn't even know you were going to struggle. So I'm just going to keep roosting and make sure you can't crit me to death. So it's on this turn where he's going to go for one last struggle to try and keep himself in the tournament. But that struggling is not going to give him that win. And I'm going to go for the Life Orb T-Bolt to finish off this match. This was round 1 of HerpyDerqy's tournament. That was an excellent match. Pokemon Bro EP10. Comment, rate, and subscribe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this battle. I really need to stop tripping over my words. It is unprofessional of me, but that is okay. We have started the U-Tournies, and that's all that matters. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will bring you round 2 of HerpyDerqy's Monotype tournament in the next upload, which will be up maybe in a couple of days or so, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? But until then, everyone, I hope you have enjoyed this. Leave a comment if you think that this is a good addition to my channel, because I'm hoping there will be a lot more tournaments I can enter as well. But otherwise, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have an excellent day. Peace.